His skull should have shattered. His brain should have been destroyed. No human being should have opened their eyes after what happened. And yet, he did. This is the true story of Phineas Gage, the man who survived an accident so violent, so unbelievable, that scientists still struggle to explain it. A man who lived after losing large parts of his brain. A man whose survival changed everything we know about personality, consciousness, and the human mind. This is the story of how one man proved that the brain is stranger and more adaptable than anyone imagined. The accident that should have killed him. In 1848, Phineas Gage was a 25-year-old railroad worker in Vermont. Strong, sharp, respected, the kind of man other workers trusted to lead dangerous tasks. His job that day was straightforward. Pack explosive powder into a drilled hole, press it with a long iron rod, and ignite it to break apart rock. At 4:30 p.m., something went horribly wrong. Gage wasn't distracted. He wasn't careless. But a spark, just one, ignited the charge before he had time to pull back. The explosion launched his tamping iron, a 3-foot, 1-meter metal rod, straight upward. It entered his left cheek, passed behind his eye, and shot through the top of his skull. The rod didn't stop there. It flew 30 meters through the air and landed smeared with blood and brain tissue. Gage fell to the ground, but he didn't die. In one of the most astonishing moments in medical history, he stood up. Dust-covered workers watched in horror as he walked toward a wagon and sat down calmly. Blood pouring from his face, brain exposed, yet fully conscious. One worker fainted, another vomited. Gage simply said, "Give me a hand, I'm hurt bad." He wasn't wrong. A walking impossibility. When Dr. John Harlow arrived, he expected to find a corpse. Instead, he found Phineas sitting upright, speaking clearly, and able to describe what happened. Blood pooled around him. Brain matter spilled from the wound. The rod had removed or destroyed a large portion of his left frontal lobe, an area responsible for decision-making, emotion regulation, and personality. Doctors in the 1800s had never seen anything like it. As Harlow cleaned the wound, Gage joked, "Here's business enough for you, doctor." He remained conscious through the entire procedure. No one expected him to survive the night. He survived 12 days, then a month, then a year, and that's when something even stranger began to happen. The man who returned, different. Physically, Gage recovered. He could speak. He could walk. He could remember names, events, places. Clear evidence that large parts of his mind were still intact. But something else had changed, something deeper. Before the accident, Gage was known as responsible, disciplined, kind, and professional, a natural leader. After the accident, his behavior shifted dramatically. Dr. Harlow wrote that Gage was now impulsive, impatient, unable to plan, prone to anger, prone to inappropriate jokes, dismissive of rules, unable to finish tasks, and emotionally unpredictable. His coworkers said he was not Gage anymore. His personality had been altered so profoundly that his friends barely recognized him. This was one of the first documented cases showing that the brain controls personality, that who you are is not just your soul or character, but your neurobiology. Gage became living proof that damaging a specific part of the brain can transform a person's behavior, temperament, and even moral judgment. He was the first human example that identity lives in the brain. A brain that adapted, For years, scientists believed the story ended there. Gage lived, but broken. Except, new evidence suggests something far more remarkable. Researchers analyzing his skull and modern brain models discovered that Gage didn't just survive. His brain rewired itself. This process is known as neuroplasticity, the ability of the brain to reorganize pathways and assign new roles to undamaged regions. In the 1800s, doctors didn't know this was possible. But Gage's life became the first hint that the brain can heal in ways once thought impossible. According to new data, Gage regained emotional control over time. He became more stable. He held jobs again, including working in Chile and driving a stagecoach. His social skills improved. He formed relationships, and he lived a mostly functional adult life. His personality didn't return, but it reformed, built from the pieces that remained. He wasn't the same man he once was, but he wasn't lost either. He adapted. His brain adapted. And that adaptation made him one of the most extraordinary neurological cases in history. What his brain taught the world. Phineas Gage changed neuroscience forever. Before him, scientists believed the brain was unchanging. Each part had a single purpose. Damage was permanent. Personality came from the soul, not the skull. His survival shattered every one of those assumptions. Here's what his case taught us. 1. Personality lives in the brain. Damage to the frontal lobe can alter behavior, motivation, and self-control. 2. The brain can rewire itself. Neuroplasticity allows functions to shift to undamaged areas. 3. Humans can survive unimaginable trauma. Even massive brain injuries don't always kill or destroy identity. 4. The mind is more dynamic than anyone imagined. Gage proved that who a person is can change biologically, not just psychologically. 5. The brain is both fragile and resilient. A single metal rod nearly destroyed him, yet his mind rebuilt a version of itself anyway. Gage became the foundation for modern brain science, from personality psychology to neurosurgery to cognitive therapy to artificial intelligence models of the mind. His accident wasn't just tragic, it was transformative. The mystery that remains. Even today, scientists debate how Gage survived. Some say the rod cauterized the wound. Others say the trajectory missed vital blood vessels. Some argue his strong physique saved him. Others propose he entered a shock state that preserved his life. But there's a deeper mystery, one that transcends anatomy. How much of a person can you lose and still be yourself? Gage lost part of his brain. He lost part of his personality. He lost part of his old life. Yet he lived. He worked. He adapted. He felt joy and grief. He formed memories. He survived 12 years after the accident. He wasn't the old Gage. He wasn't a broken Gage. He was a different Gage, a man rebuilt by his own brain. Closing. Phineas Gage is more than a medical anomaly. He is a reminder that the mind is not fixed. Identity is not permanent. Personality is not a prison. We change, we adapt, we rebuild. His story shows that the brain is both terrifyingly delicate and incredibly powerful. Fragile enough to be shattered by a single moment, yet strong enough to reinvent itself afterward. In a strange way, Gage's accident revealed something universal. We are all more than our injuries, more than our past, more than the parts of ourselves we have lost. His survival is not just a medical miracle, it is a human one. Welcome to the world beyond the mind.